All right, welcome to RetireJapan TV, where we talk about personal finance, retirement, investing, life in Japan, and all sorts of stuff. And today we're going to be talking about how to survive 2026, and
Yeah.
also and also my naturalization updates. Yay! Everyone's
Fingers crossed.
waiting for that one, aren't they?
Yeah, we usually get a lot of questions about that, don't we?
All right, so it's been a while. Been a couple of months.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Well,
Sorry,
no,
everybody.
I was pretty overwhelmed as well. So basically, yeah, February came around and both of us weren't quite up to doing a show.
No.
So we thought, okay, we'll come back better, bigger and better in March, rather than doing a kind of half-hearted ill one now. So we're back. We did get some nice messages.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, we were missed.
I was really impressed that people A, remembered, and B, cared enough to get in touch and say something nice. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you guys joining us as well. So
we do have a nice bunch, don't we? Nice.
We do. That's the best thing about it, actually. The whole live streaming thing. That it's the company and the conversations.
Yeah. So yeah, grab a drink and join us for a couple of hours of solving Japan's problems.
Well,
or preparing yourself.
I see myself more as, you know, the puppets that sit in the box and like grumble about stuff. That's us, I think.
Yeah. I'd be happy with that. Yeah, that works.
We're just sitting there grumbling about Japan's problems and everything else, basically.
Yeah. There is no update on my number card. I have to say, I will talk about the tax later, but I was in the tax office and have you got my number card? No. And I thought, oh, they must think I'm so awkward. But then the next guy as well was like, I haven't got one. I don't trust that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he was much more snotty about it. So I thought, oh, okay. There's still some.
I think the penetration is quite high now. They were really struggling to get people to get them. And then they had the COVID handouts and that's what clinched it.
All the free
money.
Points. Yeah.
Well, money. It was like, if you want your COVID money quickly, you have My Number card, you get it quickly. If you don't, it takes forever. So it was like, okay, so everyone wants to get My Number card at that point. So
yeah.
Damn it. That's what got mass adoption. And once you get mass adoption, it's pretty much embedded. So
yeah. I know it's.
So you're not going to be getting a MyZiner card?
Nope, not at the moment.
Or a MyZiner driving license, even. No, I mean,
as long as I can hold on. I feel I owe it to retired Japan listeners. Like they want to know what it's like to hold out. So I'll be that guy.
Awesome. My wife got a driving license, My Number, although she also got a driving license physical card as well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
The benefit is that apparently you can do the lectures online.
Oh, that's sneaky.
And save a lot of time. So, you know, now you're tempted, aren't you? Now your principles are going to go out the window.
Yeah.
If you could do your driving license renewal lectures at home while, you know, playing the ukulele or something, then, that might be a more productive use of your time.
Yeah. Interesting that they're doing that. I'm surprised they allow that because they're usually quite strict about, you know, people concentrating and not falling asleep.
If you fall asleep, you fail and you have to come back again, right?
Yeah, I've seen somebody told off for falling asleep in the middle of it.
Yeah, I find them quite interesting, but then again, I've had a gold card for quite a long time, so mine
I was so close last time, so close. Anyway, shall we hit our hot topic?
Let's do it. It's a big one.
Yeah, have a guess, everyone.
How to survive 2026. So it's kind of what we think might or could potentially happen. I'm a big kind of living in the future person. So I've always, you know, got plan B and plan C and plan D, and too much. It's probably not healthy, but I'm going to use that today and present some scenarios for you that might happen. And if they're going to happen, it would be good to maybe be ready for it. So fortunately, the whole being ready for it is basically just implement basic personal finance.
Yeah.
Like make sure that you've got some slack in your system. You know, you're either saving a bit or you're not spending all your money. You've got some savings, and then when bad things happen, you're not at the limit, so you can afford, okay, maybe I'll stop saving, I can use that money to survive, or maybe I'll tap my emergency fund, but you're okay because you have that extra kind of flexibility. Whereas if you're spending every single penny and something goes wrong, and I think things are going to go wrong this year.
It feels like we're not we're not at the worst point yet. That's
okay. So first topic, obviously, World War III is happening. Basically, 2 of the 3 superpowers at war right now. The third one may well step in at some point. So yeah, we're basically in World War III now, which is not going to be fantastic. And the thing is, I think a lot of people aren't really aware of just how unpleasant it's going to get in terms of price rises. Basically, we're going to see massive inflation across the board. Someone actually posted on the Retire Japan forum last week that they went to put gas in their car and they could only get 20 liters.
Oh, what? The
so
petrol, the gas station, the petrol station limited it.
Rationing. Yeah.
Oh.
Now that doesn't seem to be. It seems to be a one-off because no one else has bumped into that. I actually went and filled my car that after I read it, thinking, "Oh, is this a thing?" And it's not a thing in Sendai, at least.
Okay.
This was West Japan, somewhere in the rural area. But yeah, quite possible.
Wow.
Japan,
at the very least,
as you know, doesn't produce its own fuel. Although apparently we've got like 250 days worth or something.
Yeah, and they've actually started releasing reserves, haven't they? I think this week, which shows they're taking it seriously. They do. They don't think this is the
yeah. So obviously, once energy costs go up, everything goes up, right? Food goes up, transportation goes up, production goes up. People stop being able to make fertilizer and stuff. So it gets quite nasty. Once you go like second and third order effects, it gets quite unpleasant. So basically it's another incentive to maybe take a look at your finances, maybe try and save a bit more, maybe try and cut your fixed expenses so that you have the option of cutting your spending if something happens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying let's go out and buy bullets and canned goods, but I think, putting yourself in a more resilient financial situation is never a bad idea, and especially at the moment might be a good idea.
Yeah. Frank Joseph has said, hey, we should ease up on the war talk a bit, don't overstate it. And it's true, we don't know what's going to happen. So I think there is like 3 kind of scenarios. It could finish in a day or 2. That's it. It's over. It could be a few more weeks and then we get past it, or it could be one of those on for years kind of things. We've seen what's happened with the Russian.
The thing is, I don't want to spend too much on this because obviously I'm not a military strategist. Everyone's an expert, right? We all know everything about like war planning and logistics now. But I think the main thing is, though, like insurance rates for ships going through that strait are not going to go back to what they were 3 weeks ago, ever.
Right.
Or at least, anytime soon. So I don't know. I think it's worth considering the bad scenarios and just checking, in the bad scenario, am I going to be okay? And if not, then what can I do to make myself more okay? I don't think you need to be all paranoid. I'm quite a positive, optimistic person, but I'm also aware of things that might happen. So
yeah. There are also knockoff effects that I don't think we really see immediately. So even with oil going up, it's not necessarily just gas prices, but I heard that so sulfur is a sort of byproduct of the oil refining process, I think. That then means there's a lack of sulfur, and apparently that then means there's a lack of copper, and that means high prices for electronics. And in general, companies are then, even if it doesn't affect them directly, it's like, okay, let's just hunker down and not be more cautious. So I think half of it is knock-on effects, and half of it is just like a psychological, companies, lenders, whatever, just being much more cautious, which just ripples through the whole economy.
Yeah. So basically, I think we're going to see higher inflation. I also think we might see a stock market crash this year. Really going all out now. And I think the thing that's going to trigger it is going to be the SpaceX IPO in June.
Oh, even though it's not in Japan.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking US stock market, which
right,
makes up 60-70% of the all world stock funds that most of us own.
This is something. So my son's friend said, oh, he's got NISA and he's got what was it? He got high tech stocks, he got all country, and he got S&P 500. And I was explaining like it's pretty much all tech stocks. I think 70% or something is S&P is tech, and then 70% or something of all country is the
So
US.
he's tripled down on tech stocks, basically.
He's since sold some. Do you realize that wasn't the best idea? But yeah, it's surprising. You think, okay, I'm in all countries funds, so I'm sort of really balanced out there and safe. But yeah, it's really highly concentrated.
Yeah. So and to be honest, that's not going to change my behavior. I'm not planning to sell anything. It's just when that crash happens, and there will be a crash at some point in some form. Just be ready for it. Be ready psychologically to be like, okay, price is down. It doesn't matter. I just need to wait 6 months, a year, 2 years for it to recover, right?
Yeah.
And the worst thing you can do is panic and sell it when it's down. So I think being ready for that psychologically is going to make the difference between people being okay, not really affecting you, and really damaging your financial prospects, depending on how much you have invested at the moment.
Yeah. Andrew Brindle in the chat has mentioned fertilizers as well. Yes, that's one other thing. I think fertilizers are also impacted already, which will then obviously mean higher food prices. But slightly offsetting that, this week, I think, the trade unions, I think, have started doing their annual discussion of prices for the upcoming financial new year. And there's pressure from the government on them to do another pay increase for, generally this is for larger companies, but that could hopefully trickle down to small and medium. So yeah, we're going to see inflation, but hopefully there'll be pay rises to almost offset that. Don't want us to be all doom and gloom here.
For some people, yeah, definitely. And the point of this is not to scare people or make them depressed. It's to just have a quick think about it. If things get unpleasant, are you going to be okay? And if not, what can you do now to maybe adjust a little bit?
Yeah. Right. So we move on from that topic. I want to get to
to the next one. No, so there was a question about why I think the SpaceX IPO is going to tank the market. So the SpaceX IPO is really ambitious. I think they want something like $1.7 trillion for it. So it'd be the biggest IPO ever. And I think people are skittish, right? I think people are like, oh, AI is a bit bubbly. All these big companies are investing in each other. I'm not sure I trust the stock market. And suddenly you've got this enormous IPO with a huge target. So if that fails, if they don't make their target, if it's not subscribed or popular and so on, there could be a knock-on effect, right? Where people are like, oh, SpaceX tanked, everything else is going to tank. I'm better sell before that happens. And therefore, yeah, I think it's one possible trigger.
Yeah. Well, we'll always have to wait and find out.
Yeah. So in July, when I was right, I want I'm gonna get a little paper crown and wear that for our July episode. If not, then we'll have some kind of.
Then you eat the crown.
Yeah. I eat the paper crown. Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah, nice. And then the other one, which is a bit more speculative, but if you were China and you really wanted to take Taiwan back, this seems like quite good timing, doesn't it? Where America's moved all their stuff into the Middle East and used up all their Patriot missiles. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Although, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how pragmatic China is about things.
I did read though that the taking back of Taiwan, in the opinion of The Economist magazine, I think it was, is more likely to be gradual than some obvious attack. It would be more like just cutting off, key routes
Blockade
around
it.
and just sort of gradually squeezing. So, well, who knows? Who knows? But
well, I mean, they're already doing that, aren't they? All their military exercises recently have just been like surrounding Taiwan with ships and planes and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, a blockade would just be leaving them in place, I guess.
Yeah.
But who's going to break that blockade right now? You know.
Frank Joseph makes a good point that maybe they're also just happy with how things are going, and just sit back and you play it out between yourselves, guys. We'll just sit here and watch.
Well, I mean, obviously they're helping Iran, right? So.
Oh, right.
But we'll see. We'll see. So it's quite interesting to see President Trump saying, "China, please come and help you." I'm like, what? That's their ally. Like, they're perfectly happy with the situation. Okay, so enough doom and gloom. Those are my three big predictions. So I think, cost of living is going to go up quite a lot this year. I think the stock market is probably going to crash at some point, and I think China might have a go. So in our Bonenkai, so our December, we're going to have a Bonenkai with proper adult drinks and a chilled atmosphere. We can go over those three and see if they happened or not. So.
Okay, I'll take the other side then and say it's not going to be as bad as all that.
That's an easy position to
take. You might get 1 out of 3.
one out of 3 would be okay. I'll show you all of you people in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on before we get.
Have we got any questions to hit before we move on?
Oh, good point. Yeah. We had some sort of unrelated but still evening ones. Badon, haha, that's a good name. Hey there, is it worth starting IDECO when the DC plan might be maxed out this year or next? Any thoughts?
Not sure what that means, but IDECO contribution limits are going up massively in January. So
next time,
if you're going to do it, then being able to put in that extra amount, it's going to be 62,000 for employees from January rather than 23 now. Yeah, it might make sense to get the account open and running, and so that you're ready when the limits go up.
Oh, it is also worth just starting, even with a small amount, isn't it? Just to have as many months as possible.
Yes, to get the tax break. Yeah, so you pay in for full years, and every full year gets you a certain amount of tax break. So.
Oh, it's only full years, is it?
Yeah. It's kind of like the UK state pension. You need a full year.
Okay. Right, good one. Are there any other questions? Okay, a long one from Josh Lewis. Let me read this out. Nenkin. So this person, Josh, realized that the first 2 years of paid Nenkin were not counted when they got their 45th birthday. Extra detailed information. They asked if I had any paper proof of the 29-year-old payments. I was able to prove the date I started to pay, which matches my Nenkin claim, but they said that's not proper proof, and the tax people don't want to go searching through my old tax files. Any other idea how this person can prove 20-year-old missing payments?
This was that huge scandal we had, like, about, when was it? Like 15 years ago, when they found out that the companies that had been subcontracted to process Nenkin had missed, millions of people's payments, and they were missing payments, and everyone was told to, go and check your record, make sure it matches, and all that kind of thing. So very frustrating. I don't really know. Don't have experience of that, unfortunately. My record is okay. I've checked it online several times. But yeah, if you're missing a couple of years, and they don't want to just keep going back, like the Shawshank Redemption, keep writing letters until they
Right. Dylan Pereira says, what happened to your naturalization attempt? I think
we're going to talk about that later. Got a big update for everyone.
That's on the menu. It's on the menu. UK taxing pensions now. Does that apply to us? UK taxing pensions?
Didn't hear that one. I would hope not. Yeah, that if that is the case, I think what has happened is that the basic state pension has gone over the personal allowance in the UK. which means that someone getting a basic state pension would pay tax now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Grown so much. I think that might be what they're referring to there. So if you live in Japan, you don't pay UK tax on your pension anyway. You pay tax in Japan instead. So
Yeah.
if that's changed, that would be quite a big deal. But I haven't heard of it changing, and I don't think it's changed. But let me know if I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong.
Except on your predictions, right?
Well, we'll see, won't we? In our link, I look back at the year.
Yeah. Matt Black says, any updates on the Kodomo NISA? I haven't heard anything actually recently about that.
I don't think it's been
Still in limbo.
Officially announced, but it seems pretty sure it's going to start next year. So once it is officially announced, we'll do a blog post. We'll talk about it on RetireJapan, because it looks pretty cool. It looks like a big improvement on the old one.
Yeah. Dylan Pereira again. Is iDeCo really worth it? What is the maximum benefit you can get? This is a good one.
So what iDeCo does for you is it reduces your taxable income. So you pay less income tax. And the higher your income, the higher your marginal rate of income tax, the more beneficial that is. There's also a tax break on the other side when you claim it. So for most people, iDeCo is a fantastic idea. The fact that it locks the money away until you're 60 is a benefit, because you can't spend it. Yeah, big fan. Been doing it since I was able to.
If I can put it into really, really simple terms, let's say you earn $10,000 and you pay $100 into iDeCo. That means your salary is now deemed to be $9,900, and you only pay tax on that $9,900 a bit. So yeah, it reduces how much is not directly how much tax you pay, but it reduces how much is applicable for calculating your tax. The tax benefit at the end, when you take it all out, it's not like NISA, is it? It's not automatically all tax-free. There is some kind of like limit to how much of it is tax-free.
Depending on how much money you've got in there and how much it's grown, it's going to be tax-free for most people. But some people will have to pay tax. And with these new higher contribution limits, people who are putting in more money are probably going to have to pay some taxes in the end. But it'll probably, the scenarios I've looked at, it's generally less than capital gains tax would have been. Plus, you got that huge tax break when you put the money in.
Yeah.
So it's a definite win-win, I think.
Yeah. But I think I've heard you mention in one of our previous shows, you would personally go for NISA first rather than iDeCo if you have a bit of money to invest.
No.
Oh.
If you don't pay income tax, then definitely I would do NISA first.
Right.
If you're a dependent or a student or something, yeah, NISA's less complicated, and there's fewer restrictions on it. Ideally, you'd be doing both.
Right.
Yeah. Because paying into iDeCo gives you that. Yeah, it builds up your tax-free allowance. So.
Rob, I'm sorry we missed your question above. Don't worry, got it now. So Rob, you're going to be 60 in a year and a half, and you were just told that you do not pay towards your Nenkin pension after 60 years old. However, is there an option to continue paying into it so you can get a little more out of it at retiring at 65?
Yes. So if you're paying Kokumin Nenkin, you only have to pay up to 60. You can then choose to pay up to another extra 5 years until 65 with Kokumin Nenkin. If you're paying Kousei Nenkin through being employed, you pay Nenkin as long as you're employed. So there's a bit of a difference there between the two systems.
And with iDeCo as well, you pay up to 60, and then I don't think you can pay beyond 60, but you can keep it. You don't have to take it out beyond 60.
So I think you can now pay in until 65, possibly 70. They keep putting the limits up because, we're the generation that lives forever now. So we've got to keep working and keep putting stuff in iDeCo forever. So, but yeah, you can claim it at 60, but you can keep paying it until 65, and you don't have to take it until 75. Once you hit 75, they force you to close the account and take the money out.
Right. Okay.
But you get to choose the timing between 60 and 75.
Shiba Fuji Watches, as says, has a question. How are overseas investment trusts taxed in Japan? Income tax or capital gains?
I think it depends on what the format is.
Whether it's an ETF or something?
It's probably one of those insurance wrapper things.
Oh.
You know, the ones that are popular with financial advisors. Generally, it's capital gains rather than income. Generally.
Yeah. Maybe speak to a tax advisor, a tax expert.
Or the person that sold you the thing. Although they probably won't be very helpful.
Yeah. For conclusion, hello. Is a 4% withdrawal rule still valid for Japan-based retirees? So this is a thing in personal finance that generally says, if you want to work out how to live without having a job, work out how much money you need to survive on 4% of that. So let's say you've got $1 million, 4% of that would per year would be $40,000. Is that enough for you to live on? Then $1 million is your target.
Yeah, no one really understands the 4% rule because it's not a rule and it's based on some very specific things that most people are not going to do. And the guy that made it he now works with like a 4.5 to 5.3% kind of range. So the 4% rule is a rule of thumb to help you estimate. And then once you start needing the money, you're going to be more flexible and you're going to adjust based on what happens. So it's a good rule of thumb. It's not a rule. And I think for people in Japan, it's probably fine. As a rule of thumb, just to give you a rough idea, basically.
Yeah. How should foregone conclusion or anybody else hedge against yen weakness in retirement? This is another knock-on effect that I saw people predicting. The yen is going to get even weaker. It's now 160-ish to the dollar, and it could go higher than that.
Well, I mean, if you think the yen's going to get weaker, you should own things that are denominated in other currencies. Basically.
I did buy some Swiss francs actually in my bank account and just left them there, and they've gone up a bit.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I've never had Swiss francs before. It feels kind of cool. It's like, yeah, I got not a Swiss bank account, but a few Swiss francs.
I've spent an afternoon in Switzerland, and it was so expensive. We didn't do anything apart from walk around.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I'd love to go there. Yeah, if you think the yen is going to get weaker against the dollar, euro, whatever, then you could have a bit of money in an account with those denominations. And it's pretty easy with a lot of bank accounts. With Shinsei Ginko, for example, in a couple of seconds, you can just take your money from your account.
Multi-currency accounts, yeah. Shinsei, right. Sony, I think MUFG as well.
Yeah, you don't need to open a new account. It's just like a sort of bucket within your account that is just dollar denominated or euro denominated or whatever.
Stocks are anti-inflationary generally because companies can put their prices up and so on to adjust to inflation.
Yeah, when I'm picking stocks, I tend to look for ones that have revenue coming from outside of Japan, at least half the revenue coming from Japan, outside of Japan. I think things like Kirin has a lot from South Asia, so not just Japan. Suntory as well, you know, the Yamaha, the big names. Now, whether you see a lot of future in the motorbike industry or whatever is a different subject, but that's one way that I hedge against the yen, is to have companies with external revenue in my portfolio. Doesn't mean it's advice for you, but makes me feel comfortable.
Definitely.
Is the IDECO limit going up next year or the year after?
January.
So
January 2027. Yeah.
So you've got 9 months to get a IDECO account ready for the new limits and to get that first full year in 2027. Although, a warning, don't leave it until December to apply, because it does take 2 to 3 months to actually get the account up and running from when you apply. For some reason, it's really slow.
Yeah, you want to do it. And every month that goes by, you're losing that month's allowance, right? There's no way to back pay or pay for the year or anything like that. So.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Dylan Perez says maybe it's not a substantial benefit, a bit like the salary sacrifice in the UK.
Well, if you're
like
paying
it.
45% income tax and you don't have to pay that on the amount you put away, that's a 45% return, instant. It's not bad.
The thing I like about like a sort of side benefit as well is that I can't touch it. So even if I want to, it's like, no, it's there until I retire, which in the end is a good thing, even though it might be frustrating sometimes.
Yes, it's like automating things. It just keeps it. There's a system, and then you don't have to make decisions, which is good in personal finance.
Yeah. Another UK question: when should a UK person start drawing from the UK pension and Japan pension for maximum benefit?
There's no such thing as max. We're not trying to maximize the amount of money we get. We're trying to maximize our lifestyle and our peace of mind. So, this isn't a like, how much money did I get from this UK state pension? No one cares, right? Because at some point you die and then it doesn't matter. So the main thing is, do you want to take it later so you get more, right? And the idea for that is that if you can afford to not take it immediately and take it a bit later, then you're going to get that higher pension forever, right? For the rest of your life. And if you live for a very long time, that will be very good, because the older you get, the easier it is just to get a regular payment into your bank account and not have to worry about, messing around with the stock market or logging into Rakuten Securities or, having someone steal all your money somehow. So personally, I think delaying it for as long as possible is probably not a bad idea for a lot of people.
Can I put a counter argument to that?
Yeah.
If you think about your life expectancy and think, okay, it might not be as long with other people, that might change your view, and also your health and mobility as well. The longer you leave it, the less mobile or healthy you might be to do things that make the most of that money.
It depends, I think, how much you're depending on it in retirement. Like if it's necessary, if you need it from day one, you don't really have a choice. If it's a small amount and not really going to make much difference, then you've got more flexibility. So
yeah, true. So a way of saying it depends, I think, answering that.
Everything. Personal finance is personal. There's no rules, and what I think is a good idea is not necessarily going to be a good idea for you. So
yeah. But on haha again, this is a good one I've been wondering about. Do you think real estate will keep rising due to inflation? And this is not just for people who own property, but you can have real estate investment fund, very easy way to have a small part of your portfolio in property. So yeah, will real estate keep rising due to inflation?
I don't think real estate's going up due to inflation, actually. I think it's gone up in certain areas because there's been a lot more demand. There's been a lot of people from abroad who look at the cheap yen and the low price of real estate here, and they go, wow, that's an amazing deal. And they bought some. And then there's also the China angle, where people are trying to get money out of China and somewhere where it's more liquid and less likely to be, frozen or confiscated by the government. So there's a lot of Chinese wealth moving into Japan, and part of storing that is buying real estate. So I think that's why prices have gone up quite so much. It's not necessarily inflation,
right?
And they haven't gone up in most of Japan, right?
I was going to say very regionally dependent. In fact, so I really like watching WBS, World Business Satellite. It's number 7 on our remote control, whatever it is, whatever channel, on the weekday evenings at 10 p.m. Really good. They had a little slot about that, about high real estate increases in Tokyo. And then just outside Tokyo, there's the Tsukuba Express, I think. Anywhere near that line has really gone up. And then Nagoya apparently has gone down, which surprised me because it's, industrial in a big city. But apparently general sort of inflation now means that it's costing a lot to develop the land, and developers just think it's not worth it in that particular region. So the development projects have a couple of them have come to a standstill. And
well, I mean, the materials have gone up massively, and there's no labor. So there's a real labor crunch. We actually found that in Sendai. So we were trying to get some work done on our mansion, and basically no one wants it. It's not
Really?
worth their while to do that job. The job's not big enough. So they're like, yeah, we're not ready. So it's crazy. So you can't, So in certain situations, you cannot get someone to come and do the work for you because they've got so much work that they could be choosy about it.
Wow, I'm surprised. Maybe the same everywhere. Kirtland, hello. Any way to avoid or reduce, not evade, but reduce the tax on property inherited from the USA by a Japanese national living in Japan?
Sell it before the inheritance happens, if possible, because there's this real like double jeopardy thing in Japan that I didn't realize existed until kind of a couple of years ago, and I just took me ages to get my head around it. So, let's say you inherit a house abroad. When you inherit the house, you pay inheritance tax based on the market value of the house. Fair enough, right? No surprises. When you sell the house, you pay capital gains tax based on the original purchase price from 1957 or whatever, when it was, $300.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you really don't want to inherit real estate abroad if possible. You want to inherit cash.
So as the receiver, you pay that capital gains tax and you pay inheritance tax on it as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly. That's the face I made for about 6 hours as I was trying to understand this.
What? Wow. Again, I should say,
yeah,
get advice from a tax professional, by the way. But yeah, this is what you've learned.
But I mean, ideally, if possible, if there's multiple heirs, if they inherit the house and you inherit the cash, because in the US they're not going to pay capital gains tax on the house. They have that the price gets reset and stuff. So, but yeah, talk to a professional if it's. If you're going to be paying tax on it, you can afford to talk to an accountant or something.
Wow. Why would the yen get much weaker when the Bank of Japan has always intervened in the past? Yeah, they may well intervene again, but it seems to happen that they intervene. There's a big sort of jump up or down or whatever, and then the market, the Bank of Japan, I don't think, can compete against the market when it's sort of rolling along. They can try and stop it, but it's going to continue in the direction it goes. That's the way I've sort of seen it play out in the past, and I imagine it's going to be the same in the future.
Yeah, I'm agnostic on currency, so I have no idea what's going to happen with currency. So I didn't expect it to go to 160. So I have no idea what's going to happen in the future.
I think it was,
but it's been 300 in the past, right? 300 to the dollar.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It was last year when it was going up. I think I said on the podcast, I expected to go to 170, 180 or something. And then it went back down again. I thought I was wrong, but maybe it's heading in that direction again. I don't know. So yeah, it's possible we don't know what we're talking about because it's so hard to predict. Does it need to be a year contribution for iDeCo to get tax credits?
No. So there's two tax benefits of iDeCo, right? One is it reduces your income tax. That's a monthly thing. So whatever you put into iDeCo reduces your income, your taxable income for that year. And the other one's the tax-free benefit on the way out when you cash it out, and that goes in full years. So kind of. But you do get a benefit for paying into it, regardless of whether it's a month, 2 months, whatever.
Nice little tip, just quickly about NISA. User ZG1PB1FL4T. Hi. They were able to set up the NISA in such a way to pay up to 150,000 yen using Rakuten Gold Card, earning 0.75% in points, which gets automatically rolled into the following month's NISA. NISA and points.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. Very cool. I didn't know you could pay a NISA with a credit card.
You can. I thought the limit was 100,000 though. So I'm interested in this 150,000 loophole if there is one. But we'll come back to that because I think we do need to go on to the next topic, don't we?
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's true. We'll get some more questions
buried in the comments. We'll come back to the comments. If you've got a question, we'll come back and try and answer it later.
Right. Immigration fees. Are we going to talk about that quickly?
Oh yeah.
Because there's some misunderstanding. Yeah.
Well, it kind of is. So all the headlines are like, yep, PR is now 300,000. visa renewals are now 100,000. Those are the caps. They haven't announced the actual fees yet.
Oh, it's the maximum.
That's the maximum by law that they can be, but that's not likely to be the price that they're going to be this year. So we've got to wait and see to see what the actual fees are.
Right. So let's say permanent residency, the max is, I think, 300,000. I saw. And then I saw somebody in the comments to that article saying, I can't believe I've got permanent residency. And when I next renew the card, I'm going to have to pay 300,000. Is that correct?
It is not. So renewing your site, so you don't have to renew permanent residency, right? It's called permanent. So until it's revoked, you get to keep it, or unless you leave Japan. Like that's a bit of a gray area if you leave Japan. But you have to renew your card every 7 years, unless you get a Maizina card, which is my term for the combined My Numbers IDO cards, and those are valid for 10 years. So you get an extra 3 years. And there's no fee for renewing currently, and I haven't heard anyone suggest making a fee. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fee at some point, but I think having it with the My Number card makes that less likely because there isn't a fee to renew My Number cards. So having a special fee to renew foreign My Number cards would be a bit icky, maybe. So yeah, so no fees right now. You just have to go in, give them a photo and get a new card. It takes me 10 minutes here in Sendai. I think it's fairly quick everywhere, but apart from maybe Shinagawa, I don't know. I hear stories about Shinagawa, and I don't ever want to go there.
Yeah. So we should point out, if you are thinking of getting permanent residency, you might want to do it sooner rather than later because the waiting list is up to 18 months or maybe even longer in some areas.
Yeah, longer it seems.
Right. Yeah.
And it's getting stricter. And currently, you're allowed to apply for PR if you have a 3-year visa.
Oh.
But they are going to crack down on that. And from, I think, 2027, you're only allowed to apply for PR if you have a 5-year visa. So if you've got 1-year visa, well, the thing is, they're so arbitrary with the decisions on who to give what length of visa to.
Oh, I see.
And you don't get feedback. And, there's people who have been on 1-year visas for ages, and they don't know why. So when you apply for a visa, you ask for how long you want, and then they give you how long they want to give you. So you can go in and say, yeah, I'd like a 5-year visa, please. And they'll give you a 1-year visa, and they won't tell you why.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So for someone in that situation, they can't ever apply for PR. Regardless of how long they've lived in Japan, right? They could be here for like 30 years on 1- and 3-year visas, and they wouldn't be allowed to apply for PR, which seems a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason to apply now, because currently you can apply with a 3-year visa, but you won't be able to after 2027.
Okay, so get in quickly if you need to. And now related to all this, of course, you go one step further than PR, and that would be naturalization. Who's doing that, Ben?
What idiot would do that in 2026, really? So I had my first interview in October. I was supposed to have another interview in January, but I double booked myself and I went to Appy with my family instead. And the Homokyoku was super nice about it. They're like, yeah, don't worry about it, but it's going to basically, they're so busy right now that when I applied, everything takes 3 months apparently. So you apply, you phone them up and you say, can I have an initial consultation, please? They're like, yep, 3 months is the earliest slot. And you book a slot, you go and you talk to them, and then they're like, yeah, bring us these documents, 3 months. And of course, the government is cracking down on naturalization as well. So there's a lot of online chatter about how naturalization is too easy and it's easier than PR, which is absolute rubbish. Anyone who understands the system, so anyone saying that naturalization is easier than PR either doesn't know what they're talking about or they're lying, right? It's one of the two. But anyway, so apparently because it's so easy, they're changing it. So they're going to say, okay, the minimum period of residence is 10 years. That's coming in, basically. And so my guy, I went in today for my second interview, right? Because I missed January. So the next one was March. So I went in and my guy was like, oh, we've had so many applications. Again, it's people trying to beat that deadline, right? So they can apply now with 5 years, but once that new rule comes in, they won't be able to apply until they've lived here for 10 years. So, but anyway, went in today with my documents. And the thing is, I had to take in like all these, you know, birth certificates and like my parents' wedding certificate and all that kind of thing. And you have to bring a translation if it's in a foreign language. And you're allowed to translate it yourself, which is nice because some places make you get like a professional translator and pay a fortune. You're allowed to do it yourself. And I cheated, basically. So I took a photo of the certificate. I uploaded it to Gemini, and I said, can you turn this into Japanese? And it did. And it was basically perfect.
Wow.
And it could read the handwriting from 1970 that I couldn't read.
Really? Wow.
Mad. It's so, yeah. So I take it all back. I'm really AI skeptical. But that really blew my mind, just how useful that was. So yeah, I got all my documents translated with AI. I went in today, had them checked. There's a few, they want me to change a couple of things, but basically cleared that stage. I have all the necessary documentation from the UK, which is the biggest hurdle for most people, because you need to provide this documentation to create a koseki, basically. So you got to prove all your family relationships. And you need the documentation that does that. So for a country that's not like Japan, that has that koseki system, because like Korea does, I think, and China does. So it's quite easy for them. They just pull their documents and bring them over. But the UK doesn't have that, right? So you have to gather all these bits of paper. But I've done that. And so I went in today and it was another 3-hour meeting. But my guy's really nice this time. Like I've actually done this before. I did this in like 2011. And I had a really, really unpleasant experience with my case officer, who was just really unpleasant. So much so that I kind of gave up for 15 years. But I'm back. And so the next step is I need to make all this stuff. So I have to like do a CV, kind of life CV with every address I've ever lived in. And like a work CV with like every job I've ever had, and what else? All our financial information, accounts and things, everything we own. Have to get basically they give you this nice little book how to apply for naturalization, and it's got all the forms in it. So yeah, we need a monthly budget. So all our income and then our spending, and it's got to balance, which is like, okay, that's going to be tough because we're kind of past that at this point. And then all my wife's business things as well. But basically, having gone through, and he explained it all really, really, you know, carefully. Having gone through that, I think it's quite doable.
Yeah,
I had been really worried about this paperwork. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the necessary paperwork or make all the necessary paperwork. But yeah, I think so. But now it's 4 months. So the earliest appointment I could get was August.
Wow.
So beginning of August, I'm going to go in with all my new paperwork. And that's basically a mock application. So they'll go through everything and maybe request additional stuff. But if it's okay, at that point, you're allowed to apply.
Right.
So there's a real process to gatekeep it, basically, for naturalization.
These interviews that you had, in my mind, it would be in this like little metal room with the light down here and then like interrogating you. But it sounds like it's quite a nice, almost like a chat. They're helping you, guide you along.
Yeah. So this time, last time it was not like that, but this time, really nice guy. He's friendly, he's patient, he's interested. It's I actually enjoy it. It's a nice like chat, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really feels like we're kind of navigating it together as opposed to it being this kind of adversarial thing. So it really is like they're trying to make sure that you're going to pass and you're suitable, and then you're allowed to apply, and then pretty much you get it.
Yeah.
But anyone who's not going to get it gets weeded out before they're allowed to apply, basically. Which is not the case with PR, which is why the PR acceptance rate is about 50%, apparently.
And maybe why the waiting is so long, because so many people just, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah. Cool. There we go.
So that's
keep
it.
watching
So yeah,
space. August
second update today, next update in August, basically.
Yeah. Right. We've done quite a bit actually. The How to Survive 2026.
Oh, the next one. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah. So
it's Daniel's excellent tax adventure. Like Bill and Ted.
Oh dear me. Yeah. I found out last year that talking to this was actually I had an appointment with a tax accountant. It used to, before I had an accountant, I used to think, wow, tax accountant, that's for like, super rich people with big, private jets and blah, blah, blah. And no, it's not. I had a question, and this guy who is an expert on US and Japan taxes, so much more expensive than normal. I had a 30-minute consultation with him over Zoom, and that cost 20,000 yen. I thought it was a lot, but in the end, it was.
That's really reasonable for accountants.
Yeah, it's saving you a lot, and it's saving you from getting things wrong, which I had done, as it turned out, in 2020 and 2021. So I had not paid as much tax as I should have done. I had not had any kind of investigation in the meantime, fortunately for me. And now I had realized, thanks to this guy I spoke to, so he offered to do the taxes for me for 2020, and then he was going to do 2021, but he said, I'll have to leave that till later because there's no rush and I've got other clients to deal with. So, okay, fair enough. And then he did last year's, 2025, like regular taxes. The deadline is March the 15th, which is why it's just happened recently. Anyway, it turns out, yes, I should have paid tax 2020. I should have paid more tax in 2021. And I went to the tax office because we gave up waiting for him. Turns out he wasn't a very good accountant, and he did make a few mistakes on the form. We went to the tax office and with all the paperwork, and they try and encourage you to do it online with the e-tax thing. But we really wanted to speak to someone. Here's all the paperwork. Please, hold our hands and make sure we're doing it correctly. We found a fantastic guy. We had to wait 2 hours because, one by one, they're getting people on the computer and sort of working with them. But in the end, it was so good. He was very, very good. Whilst we were there, people were moaning like anything. The tax people were really nice. It was the customers that were, having their taxes sorted out by the staff that were horrible. I can't believe I've got to pay this much. And, I told you to check it again. What do you think you're doing? I really felt sorry for them. They're not making the rules. Give them a break. They're trying to help you. Anyway, that's a separate thing. So we were there. We started when at 1 o'clock. It was 5 hours altogether, 2 hours waiting. And then going through our taxes, it turns out he couldn't fill it in because it was so old. He had to go up to his computer in his desk, but he's got special access and change some things. Printed it off, came back down. And whilst we're looking through that, we realized that the one that our tax accountant has done for the different year, he'd done it wrong. And so we then had to go through with this tax office guy and redo that year as well. So the amount of money we had to pay was then increased a bit more. And you're supposed to pay as well at the same time. If you're doing a post, shusei, a correction of a previous year, when you submit it, you are supposed to pay it on the same day. Otherwise, they just charge you interest for every day that you don't pay, really. Oops. So it was a lot of hassle. And then I'm on AI like crazy. And AI is really struggling with this because it's sort of like the limits of what it knows about Japan tax law. So I still don't know exactly. Yeah. Now, I don't know exactly what we're going to have to do. But when you file past taxes, it tells you straight away, okay, you should have paid this much, therefore you owe this much. And so immediately you know, okay, I've got to pay that much. But then you got potential penalty and you got potential interest. In our case, there's no penalty because we discovered it ourselves and we put our hands up and went there of our own accord and said, we haven't paid, we'd like to do it now, please. And to try and encourage you to do that, they don't charge you a penalty. If they do an investigation and discover you haven't paid, then I think it can be up to 40% or something of the tax that you owe as an additional penalty. There's interest to pay as well. And again, in our case, we haven't had the letter yet, but the guy said it's going to be a very small amount. I think it's like 2%, but just for the first year, to just make it like very, very mild, again, to encourage people to go of their own accord and pay. But if you haven't paid previously and they do an investigation of you and discover you owe something, as well as the penalty, you then have interest of, I think it's around 8%, and that's per year for as long as it takes for you to eventually pay. So it was a lot of hassle, a lot of stress. We still haven't got, apparently it's going to take 3 or 4 months before they send us a letter of how much interest we owe, but we're not expecting it to be very much. So it's dragging on like anything. There was sleepless nights when we realized, oh my God, we haven't paid this tax. And then we're going to do it. We're going to work it out. But in that meantime, what if they knock on the door and they realize before we pay it? That didn't happen. It was all good. And like I said, the tax office people are really, really helpful. As we've said many times here before, they want to help you pay. If you're willing to pay, they really want to help you.
It's the opposite of the immigration office. So I think the tax office is, in my experience, by far the best branch of the civil service here that's public facing. And the immigration is by far the worst. Polar opposites.
Yeah. So, but I should say that if you have an investigation, or an audit, now I think your wife has had that, and then that's a different group of tax people twice. And they are not to be confused with regular tax office people. They're like the tax police, I think, and they are not quite so nice, right?
They're horrible, yeah. Really, really stressful being audited. Really, really stressful.
But if you're not audited and you go to the tax office for help, they're really good. By the way, we did try the online chatbot thing on the website. That wasn't very good. In fact, it was useless. I did try phoning up. There's a national helpline. And that guy didn't seem to know what he was doing. Every question I asked, he's like, oh, wait a minute, I'll go and ask somebody. Came back and didn't sound super confident. So yeah, in the end, just getting an appointment. To get an appointment, you have to go online. I don't know if it's the same for all regions of Japan, but
since
you have
COVID.
Since
COVID, they made it appointment only. And apparently that works better than having everyone just show up and queue up for hours. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It worked. It's just weird. Like I had to make the tax office my friend online to be able to go and see them.
You should send them little stamps every day. Like.
So yeah, that's the tax story.
So the moral of the story is, if you screwed up your taxes, go and admit to it, and they'll probably not do much about it.
Yeah, they want to help you pay. You can spread out payments as well if you've got back payments to pay, because we ended up paying like 3 years worth, I think, and it's tax that we were supposed to have paid. So it's not like we've been penalised or anything, but it's a bit of a shock having to do it all in one go. So if you're in that situation, they will assess, if you request, they will assess whether you can pay in payments, and the interest rate is, I think, 1% or something. They really try and be flexible.
Nice.
Yeah. So that means that get on top of your taxes. Do use a tax accountant. You don't have to get them to do all, pay loads and have them do all your taxes. You can find a tax accountant and say, "Can I just have a 30-minute call, please?" And they usually can do that for a smaller fee. And then, just in case you have a nasty tax surprise, it's good to have an emergency fund, an emergency jar, which is kind of a segue, if you don't mind, Ben, into a little song I wrote. Woo! I wrote a song called Emergency Jar. I was thinking, what can I do that is relevant for personal finance? It's not a great topic to write songs about, is it? Personal finance. But with the way this year,
the first one was very popular, so we'll see if you can live up to it today.
Okay.
No pressure.
So apologies if you came here for intellectual chat, but I'm going to do a little song called Emergency Jar. It's not very long, don't worry. Where are we? I got the words here, just in case I forget. Well, I was on a bus in Boston with my big old canvas bag, when a man in a Harvard t-shirt took it and everything I had. I was saved in that moment by my dear old grandpa, and I wish I had the foresight to start a little emergency jar. Hey, 'cause bad things happen, put some aside today. Bad things happen, get ready for a rainy day. Are you enjoying it? I was on the old North Road when the day turned into night, waiting at the bus stop, but not a single bus in sight. No money for a rescue truck for my broken down old car. And that was when I wished I had a little emergency jar. 'Cause bad things happen, put some aside today. Bad things happen, get ready for a rainy day. One more verse, don't worry. Like many, I've been laid off through no fault of my own. One day you're with your work buddies and the next you're stuck at home. Email after email, but still no job offer. You guessed it, I wish I had a little emergency jar. 'Cause bad things happen, put some aside today. Bad things happen, get ready for a rainy day. Get ready for a rainy day. Start saving for a rainy day.
Nice.
There you go, folks.
Did you just rhyme offer with jar?
Yeah, offer. Jar. A bit of a poetic line.
That was very nice. Thank you.
There you go. Phew, something got hot in here.
Woo.
Okay, so we're not all doom and gloom around here.
Everyone logs off now. They've had their song, but that's it, right?
See, the views have gone down, I think.
No, after this.
Oh, right. Right. So, yeah, have a savings jar, everybody. Have an emergency jar. We need it.
You chose jar over fund because more stuff rhymes with it, didn't you?
Yeah, I think. Is it? Yeah, true. Is it Wise that calls it a jar as well? No, maybe not. I thought there was one of these modern bank accounts that actually has they call it jars. You can put your money into different little categories.
It's quite a thing, isn't it? Put your money in like random tins and things, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so right, I'm going to move on. The next thing we got on the agenda is the money quote. This is a cool thing I heard. There's a podcast I like called Startups for the Rest of Us. And it's a guy called Rob Walling, a software engineer. He's been doing it for years and years now. And it's just for startups, entrepreneurs. And his brother works in the construction industry. And I think he may have even started a job, or he was co-founder. Yeah, co-founder of this construction company. And one time the co-founder came in. Oh, no. The brother went in to the on-site office, and in the fridge there was a beer. And apparently that is a no-no in the construction industry.
Oh, right.
What's the beer doing in here? Like, we're going to get done. That's ridiculous. And the co-founder like, no, it's not a normal beer. It's an Armageddon beer. What are you talking about? So he said the Armageddon beer stays in there, and when it's all really bad and there's no hope and we have to close everything down and like walk out, lock the key, and like that's it, we have no more like future here, it's finished, then we drink the Armageddon beer. But until that day, we don't touch it. Okay. And so things, the years passed, and occasionally there were problems and stuff. And then one time they had some contractors put in some, air conditioning units, I think, on this big building. And they were in the wrong place. They were at the top on the right, and they should have been at the bottom on the left or something like that. But they'd been sunk in concrete, and all the wiring and stuff was like in the concrete, and it was on top of this building. It was a huge, huge mistake. And oh my God, we got to dig. This is ridiculous. Like, there's nothing we can do. And so, shall I get the Armageddon beer? No, it's not that bad. Okay, wait a minute. There's something we can do. And so the Armageddon beer came like sort of a keyword for, it's not that bad. There's something we can do. So whenever something's like, oh my God, it's the end, it's a disaster. It's like, it's Armageddon beer time. Okay, maybe it's not
quite
that bad.
right.
Yeah, there is something we can do. I really thought that was a cool little
it's a reframing, isn't it?
A reframing, exactly. Yeah. So if life's getting you down, put beer in the fridge or a cigar or whatever your thing is, and call it the Armageddon, whatever. There you go.
Nice. I like it.
It's another world-ending theme there, isn't it? Anyway, news. Have we got any happy news? Oh, we have. Yeah. This is your thing, isn't it? The very first thing on the news here is the Japan Real Estate Summit. The next one is the Spring 2026 one coming up next month.
Yeah, April 17th, 18th, I think. Oh, 18th, 19th, I believe.
There we go. Putting the link in the chat now. So they do this every 6 months or so, I think it is. Really well organized. The talks are all online. And this year they've got a special guest, haven't they, Ben?
Yeah, kind of last minute, kind of pad it out kind of thing. Yeah, I'm going to be talking at the Real Estate Summit. I'll be there on the Sunday. So yeah, if you're going to be there, come say hi. I'll be talking about kind of quirks of Japanese taxes, I think, or things that might be different from other countries. So just to be aware of.
So not just real estate focused.
No, just tax in general. So
I see.
That people who didn't grow up in Japan might be surprised by.
Cool. Wow.
But yeah, come say hi, because that's going to be more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And actually, just to piggyback on that, I am thinking about doing a special course in Tokyo live in May. So once we figure out the details, I'll post that on the Monday read and so on. So if you want to come and do a little personal finance course live in Tokyo in person, we might be doing that in May as well.
Cool. Stay tuned. Okay. The next thing, I saw this thing on, what was it now? Sora News 24, which usually has some interesting little stories there. And it's about swapping seats on the Shinkansen, on the bullet train in Japan. It is not allowed in the reserved area, that is. So you might think, if you've got a reserved ticket, you're here, there's nobody sitting in the window seat, I might as well jump across into the window seat. And that's not allowed. And you can think, who's it hurting? But the people coming down the train checking, they got the seat map and they can see somebody sitting in the seat when it's not supposed to be. And of course, they might start asking you. But then also, if somebody is getting off or getting on halfway along the journey, then it gets confusing for somebody else. I don't know. It makes everything confusing. So they've got this rule: please don't swap seats on the Shinkansen.
Well, it's not so much swap seats as take another seat, isn't it? Like if you're traveling with someone else and you swap seats, that's fine because you're both in. Yeah, you can change your seat, but yeah, not take an unassigned one that's not assigned to you.
Right. Yeah.
And actually, even if you do, if the conductor just says, "What are you doing?" and you're like, "Oh, I was sitting here. I'm sitting here now," they're like, "That's fine." So, in my experience, it's not a problem. But they will ask if you're not in your allotted place.
And the next one is related, actually. You heard this story about somebody on the Shinkansen.
Yes, I think Mark Kennedy posted it on his Real Gaijin or something. Anyway, he's got that really nice newsletter that summarizes kind of news and topics and things. And a few weeks ago, I think he did this. So it's a story about someone who was traveling on the unreserved seats. So, each Shinkansen normally has a couple of cars of unreserved seats. And so a man was in there, and at one point he got up, he left his bag on the seat, and he went to the toilet. And unfortunately, the train stopped at a station while he was in the toilet. And when he came back, this family had taken the seats and moved his bag, and he didn't have a seat anymore. And this was, I think this is probably in the news as a kind of like, oh, what's the correct thing to do here? And apparently, the consensus was that the family that took the seat were in the right, because you can't just leave random stuff and bag unreserved seats. So if you're not in the seat, it's not your seat anymore. I think the main practical takeaway is don't leave the seat when the train stops at a station. Because when the train's in motion, no one's going to take your seat. But if someone's getting on and looking for a seat, they might take it. And so I think the easiest way to avoid problems is to just be aware of when it's going to stop and don't go to the toilet when it stops, basically.
Yeah, practically, if you're traveling by yourself from Tokyo to Fukuoka, at some point you probably got to use the bathroom. So you're going to have to leave something on the seat at some point.
Yeah, but just don't do it when it stops.
Yeah.
And you know, if no one's taking your seat between stations, right? They're only going to take it at a station. So, and you know where the stations are. So,
yeah. Oh, this is something that came up in your newsletter that I saw. Dual nationals. So this is for British passport holders. Dual nationals, so Japanese and British, are to be denied entry from the 25th of February. So it's already in place, unless they have a British passport. So if you've got dual nationality, you have to have a British passport, not just the British British citizenship, to be able to get into the UK now, since last month.
Yeah.
I got quite confused about this.
So the reason is because they brought in the ITA system, the electronic travel thing. So everyone either needs to have a visa or they need to have completed the ITA online, or they're a citizen. So if you're a citizen, you're not allowed to get an ITA. That would be fraudulent, basically. So if you don't have a British passport, when you get to border control, you don't have a visa, you don't have an ITA, and you can't prove you're a citizen, so you can't come in. So the travel companies, the airlines, the ferries are just not going to let you board if you can't provide a passport. So, and it's caught a lot of people out because it was really sudden and it's really kind of not very well thought out. A bit like when they decided that they were going to process all the passports in the UK rather than at embassies. And they didn't realize that there was like 4 million people living outside the UK who were all going to send their passports in at once, right? And there's like Passport-ageddon, where it took 16 weeks to get a passport or something. But yeah, if you have a child and you haven't bothered getting them a British passport yet, it might be a good idea to do so.
And yeah, and if you've got your own, then check that it's valid and keep it up to date. And
Indeed.
Okay, the next one is about a bank called Tokyo Star Bank, which I hadn't heard of, but it's a thing. And they have said they're going to open, maybe it's already happened now, but an online service dedicated to foreign residents. I'm afraid the article I saw is behind a paywall, but the actual website has got a special foreign national section, and apparently what it is banking services is all in English, dedicated to, I suppose, it doesn't have to be English, English speakers, so non-Japanese people who can speak English in Japan. And they have a bit about home loans and mortgages as well on the website, all in English. So it looks pretty good. I'm not a customer, I can't speak from experience, but Tokyo Star Bank is now one of those banks that we can sort of, there's always somebody, isn't there, on the forums or whatever saying, oh, what bank account do you recommend? Well, there's another one now geared up for foreign residents.
It's one of the first online banks, kind of like when Shinsei started up. Tokyo Star Bank was another one. They had cheap loans, that kind of thing.
Right. Never heard of them.
Yeah, they have an initial English page, but I'm just playing with it now. If you click on products, it goes to Japanese language page. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not fully set up yet, but
the final layer is Japanese. But yeah, it's English-ish, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe when you set up an account, the dashboard and everything is properly translated. I don't know. Well, they certainly at least said they have the intention to set this up for non-Japanese residents. If you have an account with them, please let us know. Is it good or bad? Are you a satisfied customer? Next thing I want to report back on is back in January, I think it was January, I mentioned Furusato Nose, maybe it was December. If you do this Furusato Nose, the hometown tax thing, where you pay a donation to some town or prefecture, they will give you a little thank you gift. And you can't spend all your tax like that, or pay all your tax like that. It's only up to a certain amount depending on your income. But you can get very nice gifts, and sometimes it's a bag of rice or a box of oranges or something. But there are a few places which will give you slightly unusual ones. Go back and look at the previous ones to see some interesting examples. But one I did was a flight simulator. So I made a donation to Shinagawa Prefecture, Shinagawa-ku, isn't it, in Tokyo. And the thank you gift that I chose was the flight simulator in Shinagawa. It's about, I suppose, a 10, 12-minute walk. And it's kind of in the middle of, it's like this twilight zone between these stations in the middle of nowhere. And it was really cool. You go to this basement and there's a bar there and a little restaurant. And then, oh, there's a flight simulator place. And they've got it set up and it's a proper, I think it's a part of a plane. And whilst you're waiting, you sit in these nice proper plane seats. People there are very friendly. And there is this young full-time pilot there who I guess does this on his time off.
And it's a bit worrying, isn't it? Like, aren't pilots supposed to rest on their time off? Like,
he was ever so good. I mean, he clearly loved it. He was touching the buttons and it's like, you're really, I get the impression that even when he's not flying, he wants to be flying. And it was a 777 cockpit, I think it was. You can choose where you want to take off from. So we started off with Hawaii, and he kind of like judges how much control he should give you. So I think we just did, I can't even remember now, you know, the speed for the takeoff bit. I don't know, but I can't even remember, but it was just really cool. And it's surprisingly sort of stressful. Like, oh, flying this plane, are we going to be okay? Obviously, it's perfectly safe. But yeah, it's really cool. If you donate, I think it's 30,000 yen, you get a half an hour session, and 70,000 yen will give you a 70-minute session, something around that ballpark. So you get the choice based on, you know, your sort of Furusato Nose limits. So yeah, if you're looking for something unusual to do with your Furusato Nose allowance, I recommend Flight Simulator. It's called Sky Art Japan, if you want to take a look at the website. The actual booking of it, you pay the donation, the city will then give you through the post, through the mail, the actual physical voucher with the number on and stuff. You go to the website and it's in English or Japanese, fill in the form, and that's it. You've reserved your spot. Yeah, it was pretty easy.
Nice.
There you go. I've got the website link here.
Making memories, not products, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can go to this place without Furusato Nose. Just, you know, go as a regular paying customer. It was good fun. What else? Oh yeah, I heard this term this week, which you already knew. It's called NISA Bimbo. NISA, as in the NISA tax saving system, and Bimbo, as in poor. Why would people say NISA
poverty?
Poor?
NISA poverty. Yeah.
NISA poverty.
So it got brought up in the diet. So someone asked a question to the finance minister, who I think is called Takayama or something, that woman.
Oh yeah.
And she was shocked that, you know, such a thing. And basically NISA Bimbo, this NISA poverty thing is particularly young people who don't have a high income, being worried about not getting a pension in the future and wanting to, you know, make their own arrangements, and therefore trying to invest as much as possible into NISA, to the extent that, you know, they're not eating, or, you know, they're not being able to cover their kind of basic needs because they're putting all their money into NISA. And the whole discussion was just so misinformed. Like on all, but it's like nobody seems to understand personal finance, unfortunately. So the idea of, obviously I think it's fantastic that young people are interested in NISA and putting money into it to save for the future and make sure they're not poor in old age. That's fantastic. But just understanding how it works, like a lot of the conversations are like, yeah, it's great, and then it went down, and then I sold everything and closed it because it went down. It's like, we have to understand what's going to happen before we do these things. So yeah, I think we've come such a long way in terms of normalizing investing. in Japan. Like, there's been such a big change over the last 5-10 years, I'd say.
Definitely.
But I think we still got a long way to go in terms of people really understanding, long-term investing and volatility being normal, and the stock market crashing being a good thing if you're paying into it. Right? If you're buying stuff, it's good that everything's cheap. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed by the finance minister's reactions there.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'd
And
never heard of
obviously,
it.
you should only invest money that you don't need right now, and you're not going to need for 5-10 years.
Yeah. Do you think people should have an emergency jar as well?
I do. I think there was someone had a song about that, but
No, really.
Excellent.
And one more to finish off the news. Please, people, be aware of the law changing for cyclists very soon, in 12 days. The 1st
Can't
of
come soon
April.
enough.
Yeah, where are we there? For people listening, I'm holding up a pamphlet that came through our door about the fines coming up, but it's pretty much being shared in loads of places. I'll put a link to a very good NHK page in English, actually, about what's happening. Basically, there are various on-the-spot fines called blue tickets that the police can issue when they catch you breaking the law while cycling, for example, using a phone. So I'll go through some of these, actually. So using a phone seems to be the worst one. That is a 12,000 yen on-the-spot fine if you get caught using your phone.
I saw 3 people today cycling while texting or whatever, like full-on smartphone zombie mode.
Really? On cycling?
Yeah, on the road.
Wow. That's me.
It does my head in. Like, I cycle too. I ride my bike quite a lot, and other cyclists just do my head in. Go on, do some more. Do some more.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go down order. So that was the worst one, the most expensive one. Next one, if you enter a railroad, a railway crossing when the gates are lowering or the railway signal is going ding, ding, ding.
That's a Darwin Award right there, right? Like...
Well, before you die, you've got to pay 7,000 yen fine for that. Ignoring traffic signals, the red lights, that's 6,000.
What? It should be more. Like, how is... Oh, yeah, okay.
Playing to the government. Walking on the pavement, the sidewalk, or walking against the traffic. I'm pleased about this.
Not
one,
walking,
actually.
cycling.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry. Cycling on the pavement, on the sidewalk, or cycling on the wrong side of the road, basically. That's a 6,000 yen fine.
Yes.
Yes. Not stopping at the stop sign is 5,000 yen. So
what?
This came as a question when we did the driving license renewal. Actually, someone put their hand up and said, "Yeah, that doesn't apply to cyclists." It does. The red stop signs, they are for cyclists as well as cars and motorbikes.
That's the worst one. That should be like 50,000 yen because it's so dangerous. People just shooting through like stop sign. It does my head in. Oh.
we should have a separate table here.
I shout at cyclists. I'm like, oi.
Okay, we're gonna have a separate table for Ben's predicted fines. Add a 0 to everything. So I'm going to carry on. Not having working brakes or riding a fixed gear bike. Wait, what? That can't be.
No fixed
5,000 yen. Really? Oh wow, I'm surprised.
Because they don't have brakes, right? You brake by pedaling backwards or something.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm not into that scene myself, but yeah.
Yeah. Using an umbrella or earphones while cycling is 5,000. Now, I assume if you have an umbrella and sort of like umbrella holder thing.
Oh yeah, it's having it in your hand is the problem.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, earpods in, listening to music, that's a no-no now. Or maybe it was before, I don't know. But it's 5,000 yen on the spot fine from 1st of April.
Now, the issue is enforcement, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't think the police are going to enforce this properly.
They might be selective, at least at the beginning, I suppose. Or no, maybe they'll be more strict at the beginning to sort of just make people aware.
They'll do that once a year thing in spring where they hassle people for 3 days and that's it.
Right.
Meet their quotas. Yeah.
I've got 3. There are 3 more. We're not gone through the list, by the way. Another 5,000 yen one is not using lights at night. Yeah, that should have an extra 0. Please use lights at night.
And have a rear light as well, like none of this reflector shit. Like have an actual rear light. I don't think that's the law though. I think you just need to have a front light.
Yeah, because when you buy a new bike, when we bought ours, it didn't even come with a rear light. It just come with the front one. So the final two are just 3,000 yen, and it's carrying a passenger. You know, somebody sitting on the rack at the back. That's not allowed unless otherwise permitted. Basically, that's children. So child seat's okay, but somebody sitting on the rack is not okay. And then the one that I'm not sure about is cycling side by side. Yeah, in the city traffic, I can see that, but a couple of kids cycling home from wherever in the countryside by the rice fields, cycling side by side. Oh, come on.
Nah, on the road. Nah, dangerous. I shouted at 2 people last week for that.
What? Cycling side by side?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't move to Sendai, folks.
Not my part of Sendai anyway, yeah.
Okay.
I wish like I would work for free if they'd give me the power to find people for these offenses. It would be my life mission. I would give up Retire Japan. I would just become the cycling grumpy guy.
Okay. Right. Well, before we cause too much controversy, there you go. Please be aware, folks. If it happens to you from the 1st of April, you can't plead ignorance. I didn't know about it, because that's not an excuse, apparently.
Now, there's an exception to the sidewalk thing.
Oh, yeah.
So children, the elderly, and people who feel that the road conditions are dangerous at that particular point are allowed to ride on the sidewalk, but they have to ride slowly with due care and give way to pedestrians.
Ah, right. When I was living in Tokyo, at least, they did say that cyclists should try to ride on the side of the pavement, the sidewalk nearest the road, and pedestrians would go on the bit nearest the buildings.
There's cycle lanes in some roads, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
if there's
true.
a cycle lane, you can ride on the cycle lane on the sidewalk. But
there you go.
Yeah, my prediction: they're not going to enforce this at all.
Yeah,
is my prediction. Unless they give me the power to, and I will enforce it 24 hours a day. I'll be out there with my little flashy red baton.
Right.
Blue ticket for you, and a blue ticket for you, and another one for you, and yeah.
Moving on. I've got a quick media link. I don't know if you have one, but this is kind of a lighthearted but surprisingly educational. It's part of the Dave Ramsey's network. I think I might have mentioned this guy previously, but yeah, George Kamel. He did this little video, 23 minutes of things rich people know. And it's all from TikTok, little mini videos. And apparently it's a thing. I'm not a TikTok person, but it's a thing. People will do these videos of things that rich people know and you don't. And therefore, watch this and learn and you can be rich too, kind of thing. And a bit skeptical, but he's been through various things and pulled out a few examples from TikTok. And a couple of things that surprised me. One, that actually some of the advice is really good. And two, mostly it's women doing their makeup. They're explaining compound interest while they're doing their eyebrows or whatever in the mirror, getting ready for work. It's really interesting. I didn't know it was a thing, but there's loads of videos out there just like that, and really opened my eyes, and it makes it a bit more enjoyable than just watching somebody being really dry about the topic.
Is that the next wave of Retire Japan videos, like me doing my mascara while I talk about whatever?
Oh, I shaved this morning. I should have waited until now. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so NISA no one wants to see that.
So there you go. It's kind of cool, if it attracts a different audience than to personal finance. Cool.
Some of it was I did watch that video. Some of it was quite good, and he's quite funny, that George guy. So
yeah. Do you have any media picks this time?
Did I really enjoyed watching BBC series. I think it was on Amazon. So Luther. It's Idris Elba being a detective in London. But it's really well. There's BBC crime series, really well done. There's like There's like 5 seasons, which sounds like a lot, but like some of the seasons have 2 episodes. So you can get through it quite quickly. And then there's a film as well called Luther the Fallen Sun, which is quite good. It's got Gollum. So Andy Serkis is the bad guy, you know, the guy that played Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't remember.
I thought you were like a geek. Yeah, how can you not
Yeah,
have seen all these like geek films? Like
Lord of the Rings didn't do it for me for some reason.
fair enough.
Looks
Fair
quite
enough.
good.
But the detective series is quite good.
Yeah, I've not heard of this one. Oh, it looks pretty good.
And it's on Prime, I think.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, it's actually, you have to pay 400 yen for the first season, apparently. But,
oh, it was free when I watched it, so they might have made it. They might have put the price up this week, maybe. I watched it a couple of weeks ago.
There you go. That's the inflation we were talking about.
It's hitting already, right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Right. Speaking of inflation.
Oh, right. Yeah. 1 minute, 1 second. Oh, I had it ready. Okay. It's money tip time, isn't it? It's money tip time. Right. I'm going to focus on AI. So forgive me for a second, please, if you are not into AI or anti-AI. But if you are using AI, you have probably got an account with ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. You might be paying a subscription. There is a way to reduce your subscription and have access to more models. I think there might be a few companies like this, but services like this. But one I like is called Mammouth, Mouth, M-O-U-T-H .ai. I will put the link in here. So why do
Mammouth, presumably.
I guess so. I think it's a couple of French guys. So there's the first thing, the reason why I like it. It's based in Europe, which means it's exposed to stricter privacy laws. And with AI, the more you use it, gradually you're going to be giving it so much personal information, I think, even more than you would give to a search engine. It's quite scary how much AI will gradually know about you. And for me, dealing with this service, which is hosted in Europe, gives me sort of confidence that they are likely complying with stricter privacy laws. Eventually, your queries will go to the providers, to OpenAI or to Anthropic or whatever, but still, you're going through Mammouth, who say they don't collect or store any of your queries. So to me, that feels pretty good. It's like you're going through almost like I don't want to say VPN, but you're going through one layer of diffusion kind of thing. So it means that OpenAI doesn't have those queries connected with an account. They don't know who is sending it.
Right. It's all aggregated, is it?
Right. Yeah.
With them.
Yes. So that's one good thing. And second thing is, it's 10 euros a month. Whereas, actually, ChatGPT now, they've got an $8 plan, but that's supposed to have ads in, at least in the US and eventually, I think, the rest of the world. The Anthropic has got a free plan, but it's quite limited. The other cheapest one is now $20, I think. The non-ad one for OpenAI is also $20. So basically, it's 3,000 yen for the cheapest direct provider service, whereas Mammouth is 10 euros, which is just under 2,000 yen a month. And you get access to a variety of models. Claude Opus, which is, a lot of people say that's the current best one, is there. I keep using it. I haven't run into any limits yet, and I use it pretty much every day. And the third reason why I really like this is that you have, it calls it Mammouths, but basically it's a profile. You can have a profile for all these different sort of topics that you want to ask it about. The benefit of that is that you can give it sort of background info or instructions for each one. Let me give an example. I have a meal planner one. And so the instructions that I've given it for that, you are a meal planning assistant for a 2-person household in Japan, my partner. One is a vegetarian, that's me. The other one eats everything, that's her. And then it says, in our kitchen, we normally have these, condiments and stuff. We are not super keen on deep frying, but we are keen on blah, blah, blah. And you start off with basic instructions. Ask it for a few meal suggestions, recipes, whatever. You tell it how competent you are. And then I find the biggest benefit of this comes from when you start improving it. So it did something, it's like, that's not quite hit the mark. And you tell it, it's like, I don't really like that. How can I update the instructions so that we don't do that in future? And it will write it for you. It'll say, okay, put this in the instructions. And so you copy and paste it. And each time it gets better. Effectively, it's improving itself if you ask it to. And then it gets really, really good. So now at the weekend, when it's my turn to cook, I'll say, I haven't got much energy. We had rice and fish yesterday. Give me some ideas. Oh, the weather. I said, it's a sunny day in March. Give me some ideas. And it's brilliant. It's just like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I do want to eat that. So anyway, that's the meal planner one. Then you might create a separate profile for health. I've got a health consultant one where I'm a doctor and I have patients with the following conditions, which is obviously me, but AI doesn't know that when it queries it. I have another one about the hobby that I've got. I have another one for tax advisor, although it struggled a bit with that. You could have one for work, whatever. It's really effective, sort of having these buckets, if you like, for different topics, giving instructions, trying to improve them and tailor them a bit based on the responses. And as I say, you get this plus a load of different models for €10 a month. I think it's brilliant if you want a cheap and effective way to use AI.
Yeah, deal. Like most of them are much more than that, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not affiliated with this, by the way. And it's got things like image generation as well. It's not just a text thing. And you can put in like screenshots. What I do with that meal planner one, I'll take a picture of the inside of the fridge and just give it to it and say, this is what I got. And it's surprisingly effective. So yeah, that's a cheap way to get really good results from AI. If you're anti-AI, I apologize, but here's a little quick, it's small, but it's cool. Non-AI money tip is mini saran wrap or cling film if you're from the UK. What is it? It's like the regular saran wrap, but it's half the width, I suppose. What a waste. Why do I need this? Oh, it's so good. You get a bit with a bit left over. You don't want to use that full width of saran wrap, so use a little bit. And then, some other thing, at end of a banana or a piece of lemon or something, you just want to wrap the end of it. Use half size saran wrap. We end up using this most of the time, and then occasionally we'll go back to the full size one. I don't want to say life changing, but it's close. So reduce the plastic, reduce the money, get yourself a mini box of saran wrap.
Excellent.
Changing the world with this show. Changing the world.
One episode at a time. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right, Mike's over to you then for the Retire Japan forum updates.
Ooh, okay. So just a really quick overview of what's happening on the Retire Japan forum. So there's a post by someone who's trying to figure out if they should stop working or at least reduce their working hours. So go to 4 days a week or 5. Actually, I think they're working 6 days and they were thinking about going to 5 days a week. So, and a discussion around that. Someone said they were getting fuel rationed. So no one else has encountered that yet. So maybe there was a misunderstanding or something. There's an old thread about upgrading phones and where to get smartphones from. Something about beds and mattresses. It's all over the shop this week on the forum. So where to get a good mattress, which is important because you spend a third of your life in bed, so you might as well have a good mattress so you get good sleep and so on. Paying national health insurance after you leave a job. So should you stay on your employer's insurance for up to 2 years, which is something that you can do a lot of the time? Or should you just switch to national health insurance? A lot of the time, it's a good idea to stay on. You're going to pay less for that.
Yeah, we did that. It was better. It was not just the health insurance, but also Benefit One, I think it's called. They continued that for a year or so after I left.
Oh, okay. For me, it was worth doing for 1 year. And then my income was low enough in that first year that switching to national health insurance was better for the second year.
Oh.
Something about consumption tax.
Is that happening? Takechi-san promised, we're going to reduce it for 2 years or cut it for 2 years.
On food?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Is that actually happening?
I think she said that she was going to think about maybe trying to do it with predictable results.
Oh, I'm Japanese.
Kento shimasu.
Kento shimasu. Brilliant.
Oh yes.
I think that's what she's
The
going to say to
superpower.
Trump when she meets him.
Yeah, well,
this
exactly,
week.
exactly. So the Trump thing, please send some ships. It's like, yeah, we're trying to figure out how to do it. We're thinking about it, and then
think about it
he'll
positively.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think stall until he kind of forgets, basically, because he'll get distracted by something. Probably go and invade Cuba or something. And I'm not joking. He said that 2 days ago. He's going to go into Cuba next. So.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on.
Awesome. All right. Final Q&A, and then I think we can maybe go back and through the chat a little bit.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I did have one Q&A, didn't I? I've lost. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is something I was wondering about. Actually, yeah, when I was doing the taxes back in February. So if you're a full-time employee, right, in Japan, your company is dealing with your taxes for you. They take the tax out, and then you get the remainder as your salary. Perfect. And then you have, let's say, an SBI or whatever investment account, and you have a Tokutei account. There's Tokutei and non-Tokutei, and the Tokutei one is where if you make a profit and you have to pay capital gains, they will pay it for you, take the money out before they give you the profit. So it's a similar structure for both your salary and your investment account. If you have income from both those sides, that could combined take you to a level higher, theoretically, where you're now in the next tax band. But as far as I know, you don't have to tell your employer about your income that you're getting or any capital gains you've had in your investment account. So your employer doesn't know. So you could technically be breaking the law if you're not open about that.
No, not as far as I understand it. So until now, having a Tokutei Koza was kind of like a cheat code, because your broker does your taxes, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a tax return. You don't have to submit it to your end of year adjustment through your employer. You don't even have to put it on your tax return, basically. And it seems like this is going to change. So the first shot has been fired, which is that they're going to take Tokutei Koza income, both dividends and capital gains, into account when calculating health insurance for the over 75s.
Oh, that's quite.
Because right now, if you've got investment income in a Tokutei Koza, it's invisible. And you have very little other income, you'll pay minimal amounts of health insurance and so on. But if you put in the Tokutei Koza income, you'll pay a lot more health insurance. And the government is probably going to, they're talking about it, they're probably going to institute it so that, they will take that into account for the over 75s. Of course, once they do it for the over 75s, logically, they'll end up doing it for everyone, right? Yeah. So I think that little loophole optimization thing that I was kind of counting on having is going to go away.
Okay. Right.
So that people who do have income from investments will pay higher local inhabitants tax, higher health insurance contributions, and so on, probably as they should. In the, if you work in 7-Eleven, you have to pay more, but if you have 20 million in Rakuten Shoken, you don't have to pay more. That didn't really seem fair. It's not ideal, maybe. So it's not great for me, because retirement's going to be more expensive than I expected it to, but I think it makes for a slightly fairer system, maybe.
Right. But as it stands at the moment, you don't need to tell the company you work for that you've got this investment account and income coming from that.
No. And therefore, it won't be reflected in your social insurance contributions and so on.
Right. Oh, good.
Pretty sweet while it lasts.
Yeah. Clearing that up. Now we have quite a few questions. Shall I go back to golf?
Let's do it. Let's speed run it.
Okay. Foregone conclusion, we might have to skip this one because it's tricky. How much should I budget for healthcare long term? How long is a piece of string?
No idea. The nice thing about Japan is that at the moment, although again, this is changing. So right now there's a cap. There's your high cost medical treatment cap, which means that if you have an expensive medical procedure, you only have to pay up to a certain amount, right? And then anything above that, you don't have to pay. But they're increasing those caps, obviously, because health insurance is becoming less affordable for Japan. So, yeah, how much do you have to budget for health insurance? Well, the thing is, there's two things happening here, right? So the older you get, the more your health care costs are going to rise. Probably you'll need more healthcare as you go along, but your other spending is likely to fall. So, when people retire in their 60s, they spend the most. And then as they get older, they spend less and less and less and less, because as you get older, you become less inclined to go on long international trips and buy random stuff. Like my wife's parents are in their 90s. They don't really spend any money now. They sit at home, they watch TV. My wife's mum goes to the gym every day. They go in the garden. That's it, right? And that's quite normal, I think. So, your spending goes down, your health costs might go up. So you might have a fairly constant rate of spending in retirement. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's impossible to answer that question, right? Like, what major diseases are you going to have? Like, I don't know. Like, are we going to change? Are we going to cure all diseases, right? Is Japan going to switch to a more effective, more efficient kind of telemedicine type model where, we don't have all these local clinics? You've just got like major hospitals in Tokyo that do little internet consultations with people. And, I think all of that's going to come in. AI, smartphones, wearables, smart houses. It's going to completely change healthcare in the next 10, 20, 30 years. So no idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah. I'm going to jump on to the next one. We'll do this quickly because we covered it earlier, but Naski HK07, what are our thoughts on on Japan's economy, stock market? Higher inflation is probably a certainty. What's going to happen this year? We mentioned it right at the beginning. I think we said, yeah, higher inflation. You predicted a stock market crash.
In the US. That might be good for Japan.
I thought
Japan's stock market is relatively cheap. It might be a kind of flight to safety kind of thing. If the US stock market tanks, there might be more. But I don't know. But I think, yeah, that prediction was very much the US tech stock market.
I see. Okay. I think if that happens, it would have an immediate knock-on effect in Japan. But then I kind of, wait a minute, it's not as bad as in the US, and so it'll recover faster than the US, perhaps.
Possibly.
Yeah, we don't really know for sure, obviously.
Anything really.
Yeah, Andrew Casey, this is a good one. What's the best way to shift a lot of money into Japan? Now, we don't know how much a lot of money is, but there is money somewhere.
Bank transfer, generally.
Yeah.
Just a normal SWIFT bank transfer. Now, if you have a multi-currency account in Japan, like Shinsei, Sony, MUFG, etc., you can actually send it and get it in the same currency. So you can send it in dollars and get it into your dollar-denominated account in Japan. And then at the time of your choice, you can convert it to yen later. That's one option as well. And of course, you can have it converted automatically as well, like just sent in dollars and you receive it in yen. So those are two different, those two options are available if you want them.
So I don't know what you mean by
for a huge amount of money. There are currency brokers. So people that specifically move large amounts of money. But I mean, that's like, 6-7 figures US or something. So if we're talking about normal large amounts of money, just a bank transfer is fine. And if it's a small amount of money, something like Wise is probably better than a bank transfer.
Yes. Now, I use, on the advice of a friend, ofx.com. I used them for sending money to UK. This is several years ago now. And it was a bit of a hassle, but it worked out very cheaply. And they were set up for big, Forex, exchange rate transactions. And so they didn't bat an eyelid at, how much it was. And they give you a really good rate. But it was a bit of a hassle because you had to convert it into something and then convert it to something else. Or put it into their special account before it went into your account. It's like a one-stop thing. So ofx.com, I've used it. It was okay for me. Might be worth it. But yeah, like you, otherwise into Wise, although I think their limits might not be enough for you if you say you've got a lot of money to shift in Japan.
Well, I mean, Wise now in Japan has a bank license, so they can do, I think, 100 million.
Oh, it's that much, is it? Wow.
Now, but they take a percentage. whereas a bank transfer is generally a fixed fee. So once you get above 100,000 yen or so, it's sometimes cheaper for the bank transfer.
Yeah.
Because the wise percentage gets bigger forever, right? Whereas if you're just paying, 4,000 yen or whatever, then if it gets big enough, that's a smaller percentage than the wise percentages.
Yeah, I had my salary paid into Shinsei Bank previously, and it went directly into the US sort of bucket in my account. They charged $20 or something, but then they repaid that money for some reason because I was a silver level, which is really easy to get to. So effectively, it didn't really cost anything, and it was a really good rate. So yeah, that was good. Although a couple of times they did pause it and say, "Hey, we're just looking into this, whether it's in money laundering or not." And I had to send a document of where it came from, and that was a bit frustrating. But in the end, it was okay. Anyway, that's how we would bring money into Japan. I hope that covers your amount, Andrew Casey.
The full range, yeah, the full range there.
Yeah. Rent fees going up, property values going up too. I wouldn't count on it. I think we mentioned that earlier as well.
Well, rents, it's quite difficult to put rents up in Japan. There's very strong tenant protections here. Very hard to evict people. It's very hard to put rents up, etc. You basically have pretty much guaranteed renewals. So even at the end of the contract, it's hard to kick you out. So if you say, "Oh, I want to stay," and rent increases are by negotiation, and you don't have to agree to them, right? So you can go back and forth. So yeah, if your landlord sends you a letter that says we're going to put the rent up, you don't have to agree to that. You can negotiate, right?
Right. A question that was actually answered a couple of comments later. So Dylan asked, is there a cap of what you can contribute to IDECO? And Gareth Steele, thank you, Gareth, you answered saying it's 68,000 yen a month at the moment, but it's going to go up to 75,000 yen a month from January next year. And this is where you come in, Ben, and say...
That's for Kokumin Nenkin payers.
Yeah.
If you're in Kosei Nenkin, so if you're an employee, it's currently 23. It's going to go up to 62 a month.
Right. So much better increase if you're a full-time salaried employee. Right. What else did we have? What about, Dylan asks again, what about Japanese language proficiency requirements? And I think he's referring to your naturalization process.
Okay, so naturalization, officially, you're supposed to have the language ability of an elementary school, like 3rd or 4th grader, and that includes writing. That's the real problem for most people. So most people, they have the spoken proficiency, the listening proficiency, the reading proficiency, but handwriting kanji to the level of a 10-year-old child. Sounds easy, but it's really not. So that's the thing I was worried about. It's up to your case officer. So your case officer can give you a language test. The language test is of the form of their choosing. I've heard people being asked to write things that are dictated to them. I've heard people being asked to transliterate things, so write from hiragana into kanji and vice versa. Answer questions about a text, that kind of thing. For me, in the initial interview, obviously when I phoned him, we spoke Japanese. When we had the interview, we spoke Japanese. During the interview, he had me fill in some paperwork and also write a quick kind of, why do you want to naturalize, that I prepared for because I was sneaky, right? And based on that, he said, yeah, your Japanese seems fine. And therefore, I think I probably won't have a test.
Oh, okay, that's good.
The test would be at the interview stage. So once you make the formal application, you have a formal interview along with your family members. So I have to bring my wife in and hope she's in a good mood. And then, and that's it. So, yeah. So there is a language requirement. They're talking about making a language requirement for PR, which I suspect will be in the form of a standardized test, because there's no way the immigration office is going to do ad hoc little tests. So that'll probably be JLPT 3, maybe 2. 2 seems a bit high. So I'm guessing 3, which would be kind of like everyday conversational kind of level. But we don't know. It hasn't been announced yet. So.
Okay. Good one. Right, going back to me paying back taxes, and this is something I should have mentioned. Shiba Fuji Watches is asking why I had to pay tax on a 2020 tax return, because in Japan there's a 5-year statute of limitations, which means if you have got some tax that you haven't paid on, say, like 10 years ago, well, basically over 5 years ago, at that point it's too old. Don't worry about it. It's kind of forgotten from the tax.
So you got away with it.
I could have done, but the 2020 and the 2021, it was both the same mistake that I made in 2 subsequent years. So I had to fix the 2021 year, and that was the higher amount. 2020 relatively not so much. And so I'm paranoid that the police are going to turn up and carry me away to some prison somewhere. So I'm just
your PR has been revoked.
Right. I just yeah, it's my personality. I thought, okay, I'm going to do 2020 as well, because then I'll be able to sleep properly. But you're right.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, if they come and do the chores, would they still ask for 2020 just in case? I don't know, but yeah, I was being cautious. Right, there was a good one here from Doug Fu. Do you worry about the healthcare system being overloaded in 10 to 20 years with the aging population? That's a good question.
Yes, I kind of answered it before. I think Japan is going to adopt tech to make things easier. Just an example. So I have to go to the hospital like about 15 times a year, right? One of them's a health check. One of them is to go and get my health check results. And then I've got allergies. I've got really bad seasonal allergies. So I actually take drugs all year round. I take an antihistamine all year round. But I can't get more than 5 weeks worth of prescription. So every 5 weeks, I have to go into the clinic and sit there for hours and get and that's just ridiculous, right? That's not helping anyone. So I think they're going to, because they'll have to fix all that kind of thing. So there'll be less wasted time in the system, wasted resources. I think they're going to bring in telemedicine, because a lot of the rural areas that are losing hospitals because no one wants to live, none of the doctors want to live there, right? They want to live in cities. So the obvious thing is, okay, so you have a local nurse and then you have a doctor consulting via Zoom or whatever. Just all that kind of thing, I think is going to take that pressure off. You know, we got all these devices that can monitor health.
Yes.
We've got AI coming in that will, you know, eventually be good enough to at least do a screening initially.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm not particularly worried. Plus, I live in the city. So, you know, if I lived in some village in Akita, that would be more concerning. But I live in the biggest city in Tohoku. There's no way that we're going to see a substantial degradation of our healthcare coverage, I don't think. But outside cities, yeah, definitely. That might be a bit of a worry.
Yeah. Abhishek Bhatta, 1745, has a question about visas and income. So if a dependent, let's say the spouse of a Japanese person perhaps, surpasses the annual income of the household from trading online, like trading the stock index or whatever, will it affect the visa? I
don't think so. So visas are mainly concerned with employment. So you might have limits on your employment, you know, the type of employment or the amount of time you can spend in employment. Things like, you know, owning real estate or owning investments, it's not really part of visa considerations. Like students are allowed to invest, even though they can't work without getting special permission to work. So yeah, I don't think that. But, you know, if you're super worried, maybe ask the immigration office, although the immigration office is so bad at answering questions.
Yeah.
Or yeah, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, really.
Yeah. This is more a sort of a comment than a question, but Doug Fu says that when we talked about the Furusato Nose hometown tax system, Doug Fu says that they feel it is a bad program, giving away your town's taxes to other towns to get a gift. I can see that, and I did feel a bit bad. I did this particular one, the flight simulator one, to Shinagawa. Shinagawa is probably not desperate for for my taxes.
Yeah. Although no,
so-
Shinagawa is probably losing huge amounts of money to Furusato Nose.
Oh, because most
It's a
people
relatively affluent place, and
Right.
richer people have bigger Furusato Nose allowances, and they're going to spend it on beef and beer and rice and whatever, right? None of which
Yeah.
come from Shinagawa. So
Possibly,
you're probably just balancing the books a little bit for them.
My tiny amount. Yeah, so I do see what you're saying, Dog Fu. I do also give to the town where my wife is from, down in Kyushu, and you get a gift of whatever it is. So I don't know. I feel overall maybe it kind of balances out, but I just want to make people aware. Yes, there are people who don't like the system at all, and some people who love it. So
the first blog post I wrote about Furusato Nose starts with, "This is a really stupid system." I do agree. I have changed my mind a little bit actually, because it is somewhat helpful in moving money into poorer places, places that don't have the tax base that cities do. And there is a little bit of, but the value of the gifts has been limited and limited again. So it's much less than they used to be. So you used to get about 50% back in gifts. And they've really cracked down on that. So it's now really, the gift is only worth like 20, 30% of the contribution. And often it's going into a local product and so on. So yeah, I don't hate it anymore.
Yeah, we do get fruits and stuff, which is nice from a local place. So to balance that out, Ehime for You, that's a good name, has commented that their town in Ehime, I assume, has gained money through the hometown tax system. They're using it for education, employing 40 teachers from the Philippines to teach alongside Japanese teachers. It's probably like everything. There's probably good sides and bad sides to it.
Generally, though, it's taking money from the cities, which have a much larger tax base because they've got companies and population there, and sending it to rural areas that don't have that tax base necessarily.
Yeah. One thing, foregone conclusion, talking about the bike cycling thing, I think, is on the road, everyone, if you are over 16. Maybe, it does say, yeah, I missed that. Right, the rules that we just went through only apply to 16-year-olds and above. So if you are say cycling side by side in the middle of the countryside, then you're okay. Thanks for pointing that out.
They'll probably tell you not to, the police.
Yeah,
they won't fine you. You're not finable under 16, presumably.
Right. Yeah.
So the rules still apply, but they just can't give you a fine.
He says also, any road without, any road without a center line by default will now be reduced to 30 kilometers an hour. I didn't know that.
No? Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Right. Just lots of really good
cycling comments.
Yeah, lots of this really. Sorry, I'm looking through. I've got to find the questions. We maybe got through them.
There was a question for you about whether you're a vegetarian in Japan.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Yes, I am. Yeah, since I was 17, been vegetarian. So before I came to Japan. Is it difficult? Yeah, sometimes. If you can't speak Japanese, it's really difficult. But sometimes I kind of have to be a little bit flexible. So a big bowl of udon, I'm pretty sure there's some fish stock in there, and I'll just put up with it and eat it. So I'll try not to eat meat and fish directly if I can help it. But I do understand that sometimes it might be difficult in Japan.
That's impressive.
I did meet one guy, maybe I've mentioned this in the past, who came over. He could speak Japanese, and we went for tempura, and he had to ask the cooks, has any meat or animal products been cooked in this same oil as the vegetables that are being cooked in? And then he wouldn't eat it, which I thought was going too far, but everyone's got their own sort of limits. At least he was able to ask in Japanese. So, I think maybe that's about it then. I was wondering how many people have this. Sorry, I'm not sure what that was about. Lots of stuff about pensions, OFX. Oh, so the the money conversion service OFX I mentioned. Wesley John Holmes says OFX is great. You've used them a lot. Yeah, I've only used them 2 or 3 times, so obviously you use them more. But yeah, if you are changing a lot of money, it's worth, or sending a lot of money or receiving a lot of money overseas, it's worth looking into. I think that's pretty much. Oh, sorry. If my Japanese, James Pion, if my Japanese father-in-law dies, will I have an issue getting a spouse visa without him as a sponsor?
It's been so long since I had a spouse visa.
Yeah.
I think your spouse can sponsor. I think if renewing a spouse visa also is a bit less of a hurdle.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, maybe ask at the immigration office.
Okay, yeah.
And they might give you an accurate answer depending on, what time of day it is or something. Like, I'm so negative on the immigration office.
Yeah. Badon Haha again. Do you think the Bank of Japan will raise interest rates to 2.5 to 3% within the next couple of years? We don't know. But if you had to guess, what would you say?
No chance.
No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
Like 90% of mortgages are floating rate. The government debt is what? 250% of GDP? Like, no. Japan is not going to have 3% interest rates.
Yeah.
I think or there will be riots and everything will be on fire, even in Japan.
There is political pressure as well, I think, to not raise interest rates too much. I don't think they can actually force, but then lots of sort of discussions behind the scenes, lots of sucking of teeth, I should think. So yeah, the pressure is on to not go that crazy, I think. Yeah. PB World 7858. My workplace does Nematsu Seicho. Would I be able to? Right, in Nematsu Chose. Would I be able to get them to deduct the whole year's residence tax if I leave Japan before the end of the year? Oh, Juminzei. Jihose.
That's interesting. I think they're on the hook for it. At least my wife is with her employees. So she has to pay the residence tax on their behalf and either deduct it from salary or get it back from them. So yeah, that's quite possible. So remember, your residence tax is based on the previous year, right? So your previous year's income determines. So if you leave before December 31st, you don't have to pay the next year's residence tax. So that's a bit of a hack. If you leave on January 1st, you do. So just leaving 24 hours earlier can make a really big difference. So yeah, if you're leaving Japan, try to do so at the end of December and not at the start of January.
Okay.
Very expensive mistake.
Does that answer the question, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask them, but yeah, but they would because they have to pay it anyway. So they want you to pay them. So yeah, I'm guessing yes. It'll probably then normally they'll take it out of your final salary, I think. So if your last paycheck's December, they'll take out any remaining taxes out of there as well.
Yeah. Again, tax questions, please speak to a tax professional or go to your tax office, which is surprisingly good and helpful.
Or your HR department, because it'll be a company.
Oh yeah, of course.
Policy.
Yes. Yeah.
Although you might not want to tell them you're leaving. I mean, if you don't want to tell them you're leaving, you can probably ask just once you've informed them, basically.
Yeah. I would say AI, but from my own experience, I tried the same question a couple of times to the same model and got different answers. So I don't think we're in the era where we can reliably get tax information from AI yet. So yeah, stick to humans. Right. I think we've done it.
Awesome.
Questions. Gone over 2 hours just a little bit. We got 3 likes though, 3 thumbs up. Thank you everybody for that. It's not too late.
Nice.
Yeah. And all the stuff.
Next episode.
Yes. Next month. It's April. It's going to be a Wednesday. It's going to be 8 o'clock. It's going to be 22nd. Wednesday,
22nd of April. So after the Japan Real Estate Summit in Tokyo. So I'll see you there. And if not, I'll see you here for the next episode. And if we're really lucky, Daniel will have a new song for us.
Oh, God, the pressure.
You really messed up bringing that thing on here. You know?
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great evening. See you next month.
Thank you all. Bye.